going to talk about basements and how to keep them safe, not so dank, not so dreary. Right now, joining us from Drycore, he's with product development. His name is Bob Smith. Hello, Bob.
Hi, how are you?
Wonderful to have you on the program. Tell us about Drycore.
So Drycore is our free-floating subfloor system. So it's not fastened down to the concrete unless you have to fasten it down for any particular reason, but it's designed to free float. You don't want to break your concrete up with too many nails or screws.
Okay.
It allows the water and moisture to just flow under the floor and out to any floor drains. That's what they're designed for. It protects any organics in your room, so carpets, furniture, anything, water, moisture never touches wood or organics.
Okay.
And that's what results in a nice, clean, dry space. Yeah. So we have two different types. We have a product that has a plastic membrane, and it's got an R value of 1.7. And then over here we have our insulated panels, which have an increased R value of 3.2.
Okay, can I ask you what that means?
R value is a formula for resistance to heat loss. So keep cold out, keep heat in. Higher the R value, better the product.
Oh, good. Okay. And now how long has Drycore been around for?
2000.
Yes, and it's based out of Mississauga?
It's based out of Mississauga, so we're Canadian made, but we're available across North America through all of the major building material distributors.
Okay, so you're probably using this for the most part to assist with flooding, to make sure flooding doesn't happen. And flooding seems to be an issue in our parts.
Right, so if you've had catastrophic flooding, like to me there's three types of floods. Catastrophic, it's either overland flooding where you get like a foot of water in your basement. If that's the case, everything is going. If you have sewage backup, through the floor drain, everything is going. So this is designed for dealing with moisture that is continuously wicking up through the slab. So basements, they're dark, smelly, dank, and they're moist. And it's because the earth around the basement is always more damp than the interior of your conditioned house.
Okay.
Science tells us moisture moves from more to less, so the moisture is always coming up through that slab.
Okay. We see video here, and I'm assuming this is somebody installing some Drycore, and it looks like is it an easy process?
It's a very easy process. I mean, most of it is DIY driven. We do have a lot of contractor base because time for them is money, and they can finish a floor in 2 hours.
I know you told us why basements are dark and dank, but why are they so uncomfortable? Why are they built that way? Why do we leave them
well,
that
it's
way?
below grade space. So, basements were never meant to be living space initially. I mean, if you look at the history of basements, they were basically, cold cellars for vegetables and fruits. But as, building techniques progressed and basements now had poured floors and concrete walls, and it's the cheapest living space. If you need more space for, say, family moving back from school, or that's a great way to increase your living space without having to build out or build up.
Of course.
You've already paid for that space, it's there. Convert it into living space, but do it right. Make sure it's warm, dry, comfortable. Keep water, moisture away from those organics, anything wood or furniture or anything, and you'll have a great basement.
Perhaps keep some animals out as well?
Exactly.
Insects?
Anything if you've got that problem, once your room is cocooned with the good subfloor in your wall system, you're away to the races.
Okay. What do you have in front of you? You have another
so
bit of a demonstration.
So this is just a quick demonstration about what's the difference between a subfloor. So what we call a subfloor system is a product that has a membrane and a structural member attached to it. So that's what these are. And then there are a lot of other types of products out in the field that are just roller goods. So not that they're bad, but just for a quick...
I'm guessing that one is bad.
Yeah, so
Correct?
a quick demonstration. So these both have the same amount of water in them. And if this were in my basement...
Yeah, that would not be good.
That's ruined. Any furniture that's sitting on this is ruined. Any electronic cables that were sitting on it are ruined. In the case of the Drycore, think of it like an airbag. It's dry, it's elevated, and this needs to be replaced. But once the water problem is solved, all of the finished floor, which is a much higher cost per square foot basis, is protected. It can be reused.
Okay, so that is a question that I do have to ask then. So Drycore, is it a one-time use product? Basically, like if you get flooded, you do need to replace it.
If you get flooded, you should replace it.
Yeah, but it will save so many other items in the basement.
So if you get nuisance flooding, which is what this type of stuff is, water tank failure, so your water heater fails, washing machine hose fails, you get that, 3/4 of an inch, half-inch of water on the basement floor. This isn't going to protect you. The Drycore would. Now you're going to dispose of this. It's organic and it's been wet, so it will eventually mold if you don't get rid of that.
Yeah, you have to get
replace it. But it's $2 a square foot versus finished flooring, anywhere from $5 to $8 a square foot nowadays, plus any furniture that was sitting on it. Most furniture is organic based, so it's particle board, MDF, they'll swell. Any electrical cabling, it's ruined.
So it's an investment.
It's like an airbag. It's there to protect you. It's one-time use, but it does the job.
So are there other spots in the home that you'd recommend using this?
Garage. We got a lot of clients that use it in the garage. They're converting the garage to living space or man cave.
Okay.
So put that down first. Get off that cold, hard concrete. Walking on Drycore. I don't know if you've ever worked a trade show or walked on concrete all day.
Yeah.
But boy, that is really hard on your joints.
A little sore.
On your knees. Exactly, on your hips. Walking on the Drycore, that cushions you on that effect. And it just keeps you, it's a warmer feel and it's a much softer feel.
Okay, and I love that you're here today because obviously, like I mentioned, in the Ottawa area, there's been quite an amount of flooding. And if people find out about Drycore and they fix up their basements, their garages, wherever, they can save a lot of cash.
They'll be warm, dry, comfortable living space for a long, long time.
And where can we find Drycore again?
All major building material retailers. So Home Depot, Lowe's, Rona, Home Hardware.
And of course, more
Castles,
details.
Home Tears.
Well, there you go. Drycore.com is the place to go as well online to find out more. Thank you very much, Bob Smith, for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
And of course, we have more daytime coming up in moments. Thanks for being here. This is Rogers TV.